but we wanted to look at, obviously we look back at your career, and we're looking at career statistics. You see, actually, it was 22 years?
I didn't realise it was that long. I started at Man City, really professionally, and I was there for 3 years. Loved my time there. Howard Kendall came in, really liked Howard, but he
didn't like you?
Well, he didn't fancy us, or he didn't think that the time was right for me. So Dario took me to Crewe, and I'd, again, 5, 6 great years there. I had a real bad injury with my back, and that curtailed me for about 1.5 years. So the rehab took a bit longer than what we expected it to. It was touch and go whether to play again or not.
Was it really?
At one stage, yeah.
Well, what did you do?
I had a spinal fusion, I had a fracture in my back in the L5, so they took a bit off the hip and fused it in. And then, of course, you got to wait for it to, you know, callus over and see if it's going to be stable enough. So we're going to Rochdale one night, you know, wet Friday night, and Peter Reid's brother was playing, Sean. Sean had legs like tree trunks. So about 10 minutes into the game, he hit me in a tackle. I ended up flipping over on my back. And you're lying there for a minute going, oh, I'm all right. So that was it then.
So you knew it was fused then?
Yeah.
If you can cope with Peter Reid's brother.
Yeah, exactly.
So the mind had said, that's it, we're fine.
Oh, we're all
Kick
right
on.
and get on with it then. But it was a great education there as well. Dario was a brilliant... He was forward-thinking, you know, before the influx of even the foreigners around about the mid-90s, he was going over looking at how Ajax trained and, you know, bringing in stuff like pastas and, you know, carbohydrates, eating the right food, doing yoga, that type of thing. So
Was that quite strange at the time for you guys? Just
yeah. I mean, it took a bit of adjusting, like, you know, because we were used to the old style, you know, steak and chips and that type of thing.
Couple of pints and away you go.
Yeah, exactly. He was so forward-thinking, Ben, and way ahead of his time. And he loved the coach, and, you know, he taught you... I mean, I came as a fullback from Man City and turned me into a midfield player, and just little adjustments to your game. It was very, very good, and people like Danny Murphy were there, Rob Jones, Ashley Ward.
But players went there basically
Dean
because they
Ashton.
knew it was a stepping stone, wasn't it? Because he was paying you peanuts, but he was educating you on the game.
Absolutely. And then they had a model which a lot of clubs probably are looking at now, where bring these kids in, can we build them and develop them into players, which isn't an easy thing to do. But he recognised their talent. You know, people like David Platt was at Man United, I was at Man City, Robbie Savage at Man United. You know, Murph came through the ranks, developed them and sell them on for a lot of money, and then they rebuilt the club. New training ground, which is still excellent. You know, new stand, Grassy Road's totally different from 15, 20 years ago, and it's all down to him really. And his, you know, he could have.
If he ever spoke to him, he'd say, "I've got this 7-year-old or this 9-year-old," and you think, how do you know he's going to be a player? And he knew, didn't he?
Just recognised it.
Yeah.
There used to be an AstroTurf pitch at the back of the stadium, and then when the first team went home, then he would have the academy kids coming through, and he'd be there from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. His dedication was incredible, but his knowledge of the game was fantastic. And I often wonder, you know, why he didn't move on, because he did have a lot of offers at the time to progress his career.
But he was the
but
club,
he wanted
wasn't
to
he?
do that. Yeah, it was his club, you know, and it's his sort of template. And I think a lot of other clubs and managers have looked at that now and learned from that.
And he's on the FA Commission, of course, which has been much written about, but it sounds like, and clearly what I've read and understand from you guys that know him have played for him, he's going to be a real addition, a really important addition to that commission, depending on, you know...
Well, certainly on the coaching side of things, I think, you know, his vast experience and working on the technical side of the game as well. You know, all our training, even back in those days, was football related. You know, technique, passing, movement, all those sort of things. So I think having Dario in there will be very beneficial to the commission.
The pleasing thing for him is people like yourself say we owe him everything, don't we?
Well, I owe him a hell of a lot, I have to say, because he took a chance on me. And like I said, when I had the injury as well, it was a long time out, Cammy, and we'd got relegated, and I was looking at myself going, I'm in League Two, I'm out for 1.5 years. You know, the only way is back up, but they were patient with me, and they gave me the full rehabilitation, and I can't speak highly enough about them. And then when I got back, they gave me the opportunity to play. I had about 200 games under my belt by the time I went to Leicester with Martin.